July 30th is World Friendship Day. In 2011, the United Nations proclaimed the International Day of Friendship to celebrate friendship between peoples, countries, cultures, and individuals. And on the UN's website, the one sentence that really stands out and strikes us is that, quote, friendship, especially among young people, holds a special kind of power. It can cross languages, faiths, and histories that might otherwise divide us. It invites us to listen before we judge, to stay when it's easier to walk away, end quote.
Totally. With REI, the friendships we formed with the people in each project go way beyond the idea of sponsorship. It's not just us supporting them, we learn so much from them too. The growth is mutual, and that is to me what really friendship looks like, and it is one of the most important things that constitute REI.
Yes, Jane always says that she learns so much from the refugees more during her visit to the field than what we can ever offer them. I used to think that we were there to support the refugees, but after being part of the internship, I realized that I've probably learned more than I've ever given.
Yeah, same here. These experiences reminded me that friendships aren't always neat or convenient. They are layered, sometimes messy, but they can teach us about resilience, culture, and the trust in ways textbooks simply can't.
And that's why I think celebrating Friendship Day is more than just a cute holiday. It's a reminder that no matter where you're from, how you grew up, or what language you speak, friendship can be a bridge that connects everyone.
Besides having deep connections with the refugee population, REI also has friendships with people who are willing to dedicate their time, effort, and money to support REI's mission. Because they believe in the mission and the true value of it, and they want to spread this to other people.
And that's why in this special Friendship Day edition, we want to appreciate their works through the form of interviews. Thank you to every single person who's walked beside us, not just in grand gestures, but in quiet, consistent way that real friendship shows up. You remind us that the heart of REI is in the people who believe in it.
Alright, so the very first interview we did was with someone who's been supporting REI for over a decade, which is an amazing amount of dedication he gave. He's a familiar face at many of REI's events, always stepping in as a host, not just with microphone, but with the full weight of his professional experience in voice and media. Whether he's guiding the audience with charm, setting the tone of the event, or just saving the day behind the scenes when things get chaotic, he brings both heart and expertise to every moment.
But what makes him even more interesting? Well, if you lived in Japan for a long time, chances are you've already heard his voice. He's been featured on popular Japanese reality shows, voiced soundtracks for ads and animated, and is kind of like a celebrity around here.
So if you suddenly feel like you recognize the voice in the next part, you probably do. Let's welcome the one and only Stuart O, whose voice, kindness and energy have made waves both on and off the stage. So do you want to maybe start with introducing yourself as well?
All right. Well, I do TV and radio here in Tokyo, and also MC lots of events such as the Tokyo Olympics, Paralympics, Tokyo Marathon, Matsuri Japan, lots of car shows, Tokyo Game Show, alcohol events like for major brands, introducing Japanese culture back to the Japanese. I also have a couple of radio shows. One of them is kind of like introducing Japanese life to foreign residents of Japan. And then the other way, I do TV shows where I introduce videos from other countries to Japanese people to show what the world outside Japan is like. So kind of like, a bit of a what would you say, like a cultural bridge accidentally, but yeah. That's what I do, yeah.
Sounds very interesting. Like
That's great.
a creative job also.
Yeah, it's absolutely superb, and I've kind of been involved with this kind of work since I was a child. So I've done theater and rock music and what have you, and still do.
Wow.
But yeah, it's great to have been kind of able to get to a position where I can kind of be a bit of a bridge between the two cultures, and being bilingual, I can overlap, and that's I think it's really important in today's world. Yeah.
So you're completely fluent in Japanese.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not sure that I'm completely fluent in English. I think it's fluency is, people say fluency. I'm really advanced, so much that I host TV and radio
Mm.
and major events all in Japanese.
Mm.
Um, and quite often I'm the only non-Japanese person in the studio or on stage. So I would say I'm what people would define as fluent, but I also am aware of the flaws I have with both English and with Japanese. And so I will spend the rest of my life dedicating myself to unlocking the keys to language, which is, I mean, languages, as you both know, is
Yeah.
such a rich treasure. So,
Sure.
yeah, yeah. Mm.
Mm-hmm. We actually saw the YouTube video you uploaded on your website, and we heard we heard that like you did some soundtrack of like some anime and like some advertisement.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I do a lot of that. At the moment, there's a couple of the ones I may have on my website. I think I should probably update the video. They're slightly outdated, but there's one I'm doing at the moment, which is it's massively famous worldwide, but it's quite a violent game. So yeah, there's lots of at least with the Japanese stuff, it's usually more kind of like directed towards children and families, and so it's good fun.
Yeah. So, first thing we want to know is how did you develop your friendship with Jane? Because we heard from Jane that it was you guys' personal relationship that lead to
Yeah,
your help to REI. Can you tell?
yeah. Now it's I often get asked this question, and I think both Jane and I don't we can't really pinpoint the exact time where we became friends, but it was I've known about Jane for many many years, and I remember going to Fuji Rock, and
Mm,
she had her when she'd finished running the restaurant 1066 from Nakameguro,
yeah.
but she was still doing the booth in Fuji Rock, and I'd met Jane through the British Chamber of Commerce. There's a once a month lunch called the Brits at Lunch, and I'm not British, I'm Australian, but my mum is English. But anyway, well, she was, sorry. But usually they don't let non-British people into this event, and they let me in. So I
Wow.
went for a few lunches, and I met Jane socially, and we had a few drinks and so on. And then we probably became like good friends around the time of uh yeah, maybe 2017 Fuji Rock, when I spent a lot of time just hanging around her stall at Fuji Rock. And then I don't know, like it's kind of hard to pinpoint it, but yeah, we was just through the mutual, the British kind of network here in Tokyo, which, due to the lack of a solid Australian network in Tokyo, I found, I have loads of British friends and so on, and so I found at that time that joining in their lunches and their events and so on was really, really just was good. Personally, of course, business wise was also a plus, but it was mainly just like to meet these terrific people like like Jane and people like Guy Perryman, and I've subsequently become really really good friends with all of them. So it's a pleasure. Yeah. Mm.
So, but what made you motivated to help out REI? Like, when did you start to help out?
It was around the same time, 2000, maybe 17 or 18. I think Jane asked me to MC an event or to sing or to do an auction. As sorry, I can't really exactly pinpoint what it
Yeah.
was. Um, but I've always been aware since the 2011 earthquakes here in Japan. So many people in Japan became displaced because of that, and so we found there were so many refugees inside Japan, Japanese refugees in their own country
Hmm.
who came from wiped out communities. And when I went to at the time I was doing children's television, and so I was asked to go and perform at some events to give the children something to, a bit of joy and a bit of spark in their lives while they were dealing with a horrific situation in their home communities. And I kind of felt a real, like a real, what's the word? The distance between our lives and becoming a refugee, even in your own country, is actually not that big. So I kind of through that I thought, well, wow, there's so many people around the world who are, um, displaced. But then also, having spoken to Jane about it, what I really liked was the fact that REI doesn't just throw money at areas or people or projects. They empower people through investment in people and through investing in people's skills and entrepreneurship. That it was one of the very few charities that actually really properly addresses the problem
Hmm.
and provides a really like a proper solution. Because as I say, I find many causes I'm asked to contribute to or help out as an auctioneer or an MC or whatever, they just seem to throw money and then look at where we're doing these wonderful things over there or here or there, whereas REI is actually you know putting the communities in charge of their own futures and their own destiny. And I find that as a really good way to do this. Yeah.
Sure. So we also want to ask, like, since Jane asked you to
Mm.
help out REI at 2017, and like before that, you were doing things more related to TV shows, not
Yeah.
things.
Yeah. But yes, but then from the on the back of having a bit of notoriety through TV, I was able to help out other charities as well, and people knew well, they probably still do, hopefully. But having been involved with children's TV at that particular stage, I was able to help kids and do free shows in disaster affected areas to make to give the kids something to laugh at during very difficult times. Yeah. Mm.
That's very sweet. What do you think
Mm.
difference between your previous TV shows that you have participated in, like either the children one or the or other TV shows? Like, how do you think is the difference between these shows and the events that you hosted in REI events?
Ah, the difference.
Yeah.
They're kind of um. I I try to keep the same what's the word outlook or approach to these
Mm-hmm.
in that it's about it's not about me and what I am. It's about uh it, it, it's kind of difficult to describe. I get a lot of really positive feedback regarding the energy I have, and I'm not aware of it because it's my own thing. It's myself. But I get lots of feedback in every professional situation I'm in, whether it be TV or radio or events or whatever. that my energy is really infectious, apparently. So if I can use that energy to motivate people to get involved with things or to help a particular cause or whatever, then that's great. So I carry that same energy and atmosphere right through everything I do. So I don't find a massive difference between me doing a TV show or a radio show or emceeing the wine bluff for REI. As long as what apparently I have been given this gift of energizing atmospheres and people. As long as I'm able to do that, and that's a positive thing, then I see no difference between TV and radio and doing events for REI. Yeah,
Mhm.
if that makes any sense.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Thank you. And what is the most memorable event for you that you hosted for REI or attended?
REI, oh, they're all really have been really good. There was one beer bluff.
Mm.
Oh, and it was before COVID. Maybe I said 2017. I may have been doing things earlier than 2017 in hindsight. I think it might have been a 2016 or 15. And we had a beer bluff at the Rue Dog in Roppongi. And just the whole thing was just really, there was loads of people. And it was just the whole, I mean, every event has been really, really good. But that one stands out because of the energy in the room and the buy-in with the people who were there. But we've had so many really good events. Um, if I can be really honest, I find the wine buff and the beer bluff events to be more satisfying than the gala events. I find the gala events involves a lot of people, and of course, I'm usually asked to be the auctioneer or something. But I find the smaller events really connect REI to the people and are able to, like, show the real, what's the word, the real heart of REI, um, because it's the numbers are smaller and the events are longer and they're more intensive. There's more communication between the audience and the performers or the panelists. So I would say any of the beer bluffs and the wine bluffs that we do, probably there was one we did was a whiskey bluff, and everyone got way too drunk. So even though they made lots of money, it really wasn't, fit for purpose. But the wine and the beer bluffs are really, really good because, Jane's a message of refugees not wanting to deny us having a good time, but also contributing to their lives, is something that's really, really, it's a really positive message that resonates with
Yes.
people who are in a position to support a charity, I think. Mm.
So would you say the best events or the events with the best atmosphere for you were the ones were the smallest events?
Yeah, the beer bluffs and the wine bluffs. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Definitely. The galas are great, of course, but there's lots of people who are not really, what's the word, involved in a daily or a regular basis with REI. But the wine bluffs and the beer bluff events, and also the F1 nights as well. Lots of people who come regularly to these events attend. And so,
So
you know,
there you feel more like you're meeting friends than just
yeah, more like, but people who get it, they understand what REI is about.
yes.
Because anyone can come to a gala party. I mean, if you have 30,000 yen or whatever, you can buy a ticket and you can, rent a tuxedo and you can go and you can sit there and have a great night. But I don't know how involved, these people are in the whole cause of REI. Whereas when you have people coming to the smaller events, they are really involved. They want to know what's happening with the projects. They want to know what's going on with REI, and they keep coming back, and that's unlike any other I'm involved in a few other charities. I don't find that kind of regularity at other charities as events. Not dissing them, but it's REI is really special in that in that sense.
Right.
So we also want to know, like, thank you for sharing your most memorable event experience.
Pleasure.
We want to know, like, how do you feel like when Jane first came up to you to ask you, like, if you want to help out with the event, and what really motivates you to help out RER for such a long time? Like, it's been like really like a
It's
long,
a
almost.
long time now. Yeah,
Because
and
you're
it's
also
it's
very busy, so we were wondering, you have a very tight schedule, we think, and how do you squeeze in this, like,
yeah. That's no, and that's a very good point. And also, um, uh, maybe to my financial detriment. I don't know. If I book something in my schedule, for example, if there's an event Jane has asked me to do, then even if I get asked to do an event that I get paid for, because I mean I don't accept money from REI for events or whatever. In my mind, they are the same thing. I can earn money and then I get paid well. So um, if Jane wants me to do an event, I will, and she has the first. How do I describe it? Like she gets the first right. If she says, "Okay, are you free on November 2nd?" and I look at my schedule and I'm like, "Yeah, November 2nd's free," then if she's like, "Right, can we book you?" then she's got me for that day. And if something else came up, I would say no to that so that I can, be honest to REI. And I think that's only reasonable and fair. But as far as Jane coming up to me, it might have been the other way around.
yeah.
I think maybe I offered because I think I went to an event and the sound system was really poor and people couldn't hear. And I have my own PA like sound system that I use for small to slightly middle level events and so on. So I thought, well, I want to bring my PA because I'm going to make the sound better, make sure that people can hear. So I may have put my hand up, and I remember during. Sorry, can I clear my throat? Sorry,
Yeah, sure.
sorry about that. I remember during COVID, um, when we had to do things all online. I offered to do the cooking challenge, I think it was, and so I had the ability to stream. I have a camera and I have an interface, whereas I can stream online, which everyone has now. But when COVID first hit, no one really had that stuff in their kitchen or in their in the homes. But I had, because of the nature of my work, I had the equipment. So I offered. I think I may have offered Jane to do some events before she asked me.
Mm,
But yeah, as far as the difference there, really, I feel as committed really, and it's and unless it was something in my family, like an accident or a bereavement, I wouldn't, I won't cancel on Jane. So she has, yeah, REI has my first choice, and just because it's definitely worth doing because as I said, we could all become refugees in a blink of an eye tomorrow. So it's good to know that uh, what's the word they say, paying forward. I don't like that because I'm not interested in what I get back from it, but I
mhm,
just would like to be able I mean, I've been gifted a position in life, however small, that I'm able to use my small level of celebrity to a bit of an advantage, and also my skills as a host and so on. So as a presenter. So
So it
as long
sounds
as that,
like REI is very close to your heart. And
yeah, it is definitely, yeah, and it's also not just because of my friendship with Jane. I really, as I said earlier, it's one of the very few charities that are actually doing something that really benefits people on the ground, and that's it's very, very rare. Lots of people who are doing charitable work seem to be waving the flag and saying, "Look at me, I'm doing this wonderful thing, and look what we've done for this community." Right? Whereas REI is actually going in; they're not just throwing money at an issue. They're actually trying to solve it by empowering people to to become entrepreneurs or community leaders or what have you. So that's really I'm really impressed still by that, and probably will always be.
Yeah. Can you maybe say in one sentence, or use one sentence to summarize your understanding of the friendship in terms of REI, like how you did describe a friendship with an organization, like
Friendship with an organization. That's a very good question. Um, One sentence. Hang on a sec. Let me think. Uh,
you can also use two sentences.
Thank you very much. One or two sentences. I think everybody has their own lives and their own families, and these are very solid things, but they can fall apart at any time by acts of nature or what people say legally are acts of God. Okay, so I'm not particularly a religious person, but I understand the concept of acts of God, something we cannot control. So, um, if if I was, for example, to die in an earthquake or whatever, but my wife and my daughter and her family, whatever, were taken care of by an organization like REI,
Mhm.
I can kind of die with the knowledge that they're going to be taken care of. You know what I mean? So I would like to be able to provide that level of comfort to people. And Lord knows at the moment in this world, I mean, there's so many horrible things. They've always been happening, but news, 24-hour news and social media means that we're more aware of these things than we have ever been before. But also, it's not changing. They're not decreasing. These horrible things are happening all the time, and people are being displaced. So I'd like to know it's like another family that my family has. So I would say in two sentences, we are a family, we're creating a family. REI is a family, and they are also supporting communities, which are families, of course, around the world. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, sure.
I don't know.
So you are giving something, but you're also receiving something through the friendship. Like it's
Yeah,
like a real friendship where you give and take, and yeah.
yeah, but I think there's too much emphasis on what people get from this kind of stuff. A lot of people say, if you do something good, you will feel good, or you get what you give. And I don't like that, because I don't think that's a fair condition. If you believe that in empathy and taking care of people in the community, in your neighborhood, in your building, in your company or whatever, then it's just a natural thing to want other people to be to be taken care of. And so what I get back from it, yeah, I've got some people have asked me for, they've seen me MC at REI events, and they're like, we'd love you to MC our event, and that they pay me good money or whatever. But I'm not looking for that. I'd rather just, I want people to know that everything's okay. So there is going to be somebody who's looking after you. You know what I mean? Like, rather than what I get, I'm not really interested in what I get back, but more that, like, hey, there are people in the world who care about you and what you're going through, and are trying to make things better for you. Because in the end, I mean, like,
Yeah, that's
I don't
beautiful.
know, yeah, but if I don't know, if you have a love, you're in love with a boy or a girl or a woman or a man or whatever, you want that person to feel good as much as possible. So you put a lot of effort into cooking food or making a nice home, or going for a date somewhere nice or whatever. I just think that basic level of feeling for other people is something that I really wish more people had in a broader sense, i.e., the people around them or people who are going through hardship. It's not that difficult to feel empathy, and so that's what. Yeah, a very long-winded answer. Again, sorry about that. I tend to go on too long.
We just have two questions left.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. Sorry.
Do you have any like innovative future ideas for events for REI? Do you have something in mind what we can still host or like I don't know,
Oh, I
creative?
would like. Yeah. Don't. I don't have any actual. I've not given it that deep a thought. But what I would like to see with REI is more engagement with Japanese. It's a very expat centric organization right now. And most of the people who come to the events are connected with international schools or, they've lived abroad or whatever. So, or they are international people and what have you. So I don't find there's a lot of connection with just everyday Japanese people. So I think as a concept, something like a matsuri during the summer, somewhere
What
you
is
can
that?
rent us like a festival, where we do a bon odori situation where we have like an event where we just have a matsuri. I know there's a Wadaiko group that it belongs to the British Chamber of Commerce that performs at the gala parties. Something that involves, like something in a public square, rent out a public space somewhere like, I don't know, Shimokitazawa or Shibuya here in Tokyo, where there's lots of foot traffic, lots of people moving through, and try to embrace more people into REI because Japanese people are really quite allergic to charity. It sounds weird. Yeah, I think you probably have both experienced that. I get paid. I get offered to be paid for charity work with Japanese organizations, and I have to convince them that it's actually you shouldn't be paying people because that money should be going to the people who the charity is directed at. So, um, I don't think people understand really the proper concept. But also, that's just I'm clutching at straws here. But like, so to give people more of an understanding of what proper charity is would be something I'd love to see with REI. And the only thing I can see with that is having a public event that's free that anyone can join in a really visible public space,
Yeah. Or do you
but something
yeah.
that's really Japanese, like a matsuri or sorry.
Do you see a way to like talk about REI on TV? Is there any like way to do this?
Oh, I have tried. It's quite difficult.
Um,
Editorial things here are yeah. There's a each show, each producer has what they want to put across. So I have tried in the past. There's lots of people competing for airtime. And I do a lot of work with NHK. So probably it would be easier. And I have tried already to get Jane on
yeah.
as a guest, sorry, on one of my shows. She doesn't know that. So she'll be the first she hears of this. But I'm still putting that forward. And if I look at the way our guests are, the way the people are being chosen recently by our production team, I think within the next year we'll be able to have her on the show. I'd really want that
That
to happen. Pardon me.
would be very cool.
It would be great, yeah, if we can get her on. That would be superb.
So, do you want to ask the last question?
Yeah, sure. So, last question.
Yeah,
Wanna give some call to action to the audience that's listening to this podcast?
call to action. REI is one of the few groups, charities, organizations that actually goes into communities and changes it from within. They don't dictate terms to people in communities. They don't come in with band-aid solutions. They don't build libraries in the jungle. They actually go and empower people to be in positions where they can benefit their communities.
Yes.
And hopefully, eventually, these communities can thrive. And then when they get to be able to go back to their own countries, they can really thrive. So get involved with REI because it's actually addressing, the way forward instead of putting band-aid solutions over things.